Hello folks, welcome to OTD, also known as On the Deck, where you can get all the sports you need in 10 minutes. My name is Adam Orduna. This is my mom, Gina.
He is a journalist.
She's the enthusiast.
I'm enthusiastic. When people think summer there's no sports, there's some sports to talk about.
Yeah, we've got some pretty good subjects that we want to bring up today. One of the big ones is the MLB draft that just took place last night. And there's some interesting facts that we want to talk about when it comes to that.
Pretty cool.
Also, we've got the NHL Stanley Cup results. Finally, we've got a conclusion for that series between the Nashville Predators and the Pittsburgh Penguins. And then we want to talk a little tennis with the French Open wrapping up as well. And there were some people that were a little upset with how it went, but overall we still just want to highlight the winners and quickly talk about those people as well.
Yeah, so it's really cool. You know, the first two rounds of the MLB happened, rounds 1 and 2, and then I guess they do 10 rounds.
Yes.
So then it'll be rounds 3 through 10 starting up today. But for the first time since 1990, the first 3 picks went to high school kids.
Yeah, they were guys straight out of high school.
17, 18-year-olds.
Yes.
So who got whom? Which lucky high school kids?
Yeah, so Royce Lewis went to the Twins. He's a shortstop. I was reading an article. He's still in shock that he was the #1 overall pick. There's a couple players that are in college right now that were kind of
slated to be the guy. Yeah.
And so that was a surprise to him. Then we have Hunter Green. He got drafted to the Cincinnati Reds. He was also shocked about that as well. And then we got Mackenzie Gore, who got taken by the Tampa Bay Rays. So that's our top 3 picks. All straight out of high school.
All the just finished prom.
Yes.
You know, going to go to graduation.
They just walked across the stage.
And then have a $10, $20 million contract. I mean, those baseball contracts are outrageous.
They're huge. And then as far as our hometown team, the Royals, they ended up picking Nick Prado, excuse me, who was also out of high school, out of Huntington Beach, California, first baseman who's got a pretty big bat. And is also straight out of high school. He plays first base. Now, some people were speculating that could maybe be the potential replacement for Eric Hosmer, who, if he doesn't sign this off season,
we could lose our Hos.
Lose him. Yeah. You know, Prado would have to go through the minors and kind of get worked up, but he would be that next realm of young guys that the Royals would go after if it doesn't work out with Hosmer. Obviously, we keep Hosmer. We're in good standings. But yeah, he also, another side note, he won the College World Series, or not college, the Little League World Series.
Oh, yeah.
In 2011 with his Huntington Beach team.
Yes, that was a really good series.
He's also got a World Series under his belt, just like the Royals. So,
well, come on up, Nick. We're ready.
There's kind of a new young wave of athletes coming up right now. So we'll see what happens there.
Well, you know what's unique about your show is anybody can get these results online. But what we do is we try to debate it. So here's my question.
Yeah.
Does the MLB have this right, or does this just totally cut the knees out of any college players? Because, you know, we have other, NBA, NFL, where the kids can't come straight out of high school.
Right.
So it's kind of like, why would you play any other sport than baseball? If you can just go and become a millionaire at 17, 18 years old and go straight in.
Or kind of like tennis, where you don't have to go to college necessarily. You can just become pro right away and just go on and be at 15, 16 years old and be a pro athlete.
And the guy you were talking about in college went #4, by the way, after all. But so my point is, does this diminish the college game? Like, is there any reason to even go play college ball?
Well, I think there's always reason to go to college, #1. But then college athletics is a unique entity in its own, because there's so much other things that take place. The atmosphere is different. The fan base is different. The people around you are different. And so you do miss out on a lot of things when it comes to being a college student, because you're doing a lot of growing when you're in that stage of your life. And so I think there's a huge jump between being a 17-year-old athlete to jumping up to the highest level of athletics that you could possibly be at.
Well, for me, the #1 thing is the money. All of a sudden, you're getting paid. And at the end of the day, you go to college to earn a living, etc. So now you've got the living. But when you think about it, these kids are all going to single A probably.
Yeah.
Single A or double A maybe.
Yeah, probably
you're going to be in, Stillwater, Blue Hill, you know, what are these little towns?
Springfield.
Exactly. Living in some apartment, you know, with some other guys, and you're missing out on, I mean, to me, to go from being at high school at home with your parents to living in, you know, Blue Hill, who knows where, in an apartment.
On a rookie ball.
Playing rookie ball on the road.
Your way up from there.
Exactly. And my understanding is single A, they're not flying them first class.
Oh, no.
These guys are on the bus.
You're traveling via bus, and you're all staying in not extremely nice hotels, because think about the towns that you're playing in. There's not going to be super big,
get used to the Super
hotels.
8 and the Comfort Inn.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, at the end of the day, you got millions of dollars in the bank, so there's a balance. But when you go to college, you know, you're in the dorms, you got the girls, you got your friends, you got that team atmosphere. You are flying
60 to 70,000 people, depending on what sport you're playing.
Well, and if you go to the College World Series in baseball, so I don't know. I mean, obviously, if it happened to one of my kids, I'd say take the money. But,
of course,
you know, just kind of make you think, you know, what are you missing out on?
Hey, that money talks. And if you can, you know, go ahead and get drafted, just like anything else. If you're a first-round player and you're worth that money, it's hard to turn that down.
But you don't always go to the big leagues. Like Bubba Starling was drafted #1. He's still waiting. And that was, what, 2011, 2012?
Yeah, exactly.
It's 2017. We haven't seen him up here yet.
It takes a while. He's just now finally getting into the AAA realm of baseball. And it takes time because the speed's different.
Right.
People's arm strength is different. It's just a lot. So anyway, you get a good paycheck. It's great. Otherwise, I would consider college and really getting the experience, because there's nothing like it.
No, there isn't.
Anyways, let's move on to NHL. The Stanley Cup wrapped up just the other day. Pittsburgh Penguins got their second straight Stanley Cup championship. They won the Stanley Cup.
And they're back-to-back.
They're back-to-back.
There you
go. Sidney Crosby is one of the main NHL athletes in all of the sport, but he's been a cornerstone player for them. He's actually battled some concussion issues.
Yes, there was a big story about that.
His NHL career. But I know you've got a couple interesting facts about him that kind of makes him a little bit more relevant in what's kind of going on.
Well, I mean, it's pretty cool because he was actually the #1 overall pick in 2005,
really
which is rare to, you know, it's kind of like a LeBron James type situation where you're actually the #1 and you actually pan out.
Right.
You know, my other take on that is I was all in for the Predators. Nashville, I mean, I think the team's been there, you know, not very long.
It's
an expansion team. You know, and Nashville's not really, you don't think of hockey when you think of Nashville. And they've got some young Thundercats on there and they're fun to watch. So they gave them all they could give them, and they just ultimately, it wasn't a blowout.
No,
it was a close game, 1-0.
It really just came down to the last period. There's 3 periods in hockey. It came down to that last period, and it was 0-0 until about midway through, and then it was kind of a lucky hit by the Penguins.
It like went off the back of the goalie. It was one of those random hits.
Right. So
well, I'm going. That's like go Predators next year.
Exactly. You know. That's a team to get behind. Congrats to the Penguins for going back to back. That's all.
That's real. That's amazing
really
to be a repeat.
Just get back to the finals in anything, and so congratulations to Sidney Crosby and the city of Pittsburgh. All right, so let's quickly wrap up with the French Open here. It was a couple Z's were thrown out there, a couple snores.
Oh my goodness.
It wasn't very good for the fact that there weren't really that many headliners. No Serena Williams due to pregnancy.
Venus got bounced in the second round.
Right, it was really, Venus got bounced out. Rafa Nadal was really the main guy in the entire the whole tournament.
Didn't Djokovic get bounced pretty early too?
Got bounced out early. Jack Sock, the American player, got bounced out in the first round.
I don't even know if Andy Murray was playing because I didn't hear his name.
I mean, it was a dud. It really was a dud, and so Nadal won, and Jelena Ostapenko won as well. She wasn't even seeded in the tournament.
No, it was her first major win ever.
Right.
When she won in the opening rounds, was her first major win, and then she just kept winning. And she played Simona Halep. I think that's how you say her name, Halep. I don't tells you what you know, she was actually the #3 seed, and she got beat. So I mean, on the one hand, it's like, oh, here's a nice Cinderella story, but when she's beating Simona Halep, it's like, who cares?
And then it's like, the field was wide open for her to take that. So. Again, congratulations to win a tournament.
I couldn't do it.
It's one of the majors, so it's a tough course to play on because it's clay.
I just think those ratings had to be like
it was
0.
tough. Yeah, it was tough.
I didn't watch, so that I'll tell you. I tried to watch Nadal and couldn't find it. So there you go.
Anyways, we want to say we appreciate your
there's
time,
your
folks.
update.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That was our weekend sports news update. There's much more to bring you.
Oh, wait a minute. We had an NBA champ
We did have an NBA championship. We're going to talk about that on our next episode, so tune in for that one. We want to say we'll see you again, folks.